In this video, we will be discussing the top 25 quality assurance (QA) testing interview questions and their appropriate responses. This information is vital for anyone preparing for a job interview in the QA testing field. We will cover a range of topics from basic to advanced concepts, offering detailed explanations and practical examples. This guide aims to equip you with the knowledge and confidence to excel in your QA testing interviews. 1. What is the difference between quality assurance and quality control? Quality assurance, QA, and quality control, QC, are two distinct aspects of quality management. QA is a set of activities that ensure the process is implemented correctly and effectively. It's a proactive measure that aims to prevent defects from happening in the first place. It is oriented towards prevention. On the other hand, QC is a set of activities that ensure the product meets the required standards and customer requirements. It is a reactive measure that identifies and corrects defects in the finished product. It is oriented towards detection. In essence, QA focuses on improving the process that leads to the end product, while QC focuses on examining the end product itself. 2. Explain the software testing lifecycle, STLC. The software testing lifecycle, STLC, is a set of sequential phases in software testing where each phase has specific goals and deliverables. It begins with the requirement analysis phase where testers analyze requirements and identify the testable elements. Next, test planning is done to determine the approach and resources required for testing. Test case development includes the creation of test cases and scripts, followed by test environment setup, where an environment is prepared to conduct testing. 3. What is the difference between verification and validation in testing? Verification in testing refers to the process of evaluating a system or component during the development phase to determine whether the products of a given development phase satisfy the conditions imposed at the start of that phase. Essentially, it answers the question, are we building the system right? On the other hand, validation in testing is the process of evaluating a system or component during or at the end of the development phase to determine whether it satisfies the specified requirements. That is, it answers the question, are we building the right system? Essentially, verification is about ensuring the product is being built according to requirements, while validation is about ensuring the final product meets user needs. 4. Define test case and test scenario. How are they different? A test case is a set of specific conditions or variables under which a tester will determine whether a system under test can satisfy its requirements. It represents a specific idea or condition that needs to be tested, including the input data to be used, the steps to be followed, the expected result and the actual result. On the other hand, a test scenario represents a high-level documentation of what needs to be tested in what situation. It outlines the functionality to be tested without detailing the specific steps to be taken or data to be used. The difference between the two lies in their level of detail and their scope. Test cases are more detailed and are generally derived from test scenarios. Test scenarios cover a broad spectrum of system behavior, while test cases tend to focus on narrower aspects of the system function. 5. What are the main types of software testing? Software testing is categorized into various types, each serving a different purpose in the testing lifecycle. The main types include functional testing. This type of testing is used to check if the software behaves as expected. It includes unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. Non-functional testing. Non-functional testing checks the performance and usability of the software. It includes performance testing, usability testing, security testing, and compatibility testing. Maintenance testing. This type of testing is performed on an already deployed software. It includes regression testing, retesting, and smoke testing. Automated testing. In this type, testing tools are used to automate repetitive tasks and other testing tasks which are difficult to perform manually. Understanding these types of software testing helps to ensure the software is thoroughly tested, covering all aspects from functionality to user-friendliness and security. 6. Explain the difference between functional and non-functional testing. Functional testing relates to the set of actions that verify if a system performs as expected. It mainly focuses on the functionality of the software application, by ensuring that the application behaves as per the precise requirements. On the other hand, non-functional testing checks the performance and usability aspects of the system. It includes checking the system's speed, security, reliability, scalability, and other non-functional aspects. Non-functional testing is crucial as it helps to optimize the application based on the user's perspective. 7. What is regression testing, and when is it performed? Regression testing is a type of software testing that ensures that previously developed and tested software still performs the same way after it is modified or interfaced with other software. Changes may include software enhancements, patches, configuration changes, etc. This type of testing is crucial because it allows developers to make changes to the software without worrying about breaking existing functionality. Regression testing is performed after modifications are made to the software to ensure that existing functionalities still work. It is also carried out when the software is being maintained to ensure that any bugs or issues have been fixed and have not affected existing capabilities. This testing can be performed manually or can be automated, depending on the complexity and size of the project. 8. Describe the bug lifecycle. The bug lifecycle, also known as the defect lifecycle, is a series of stages that a bug goes through from its discovery to its closure. It begins when a bug is identified and logged in a system. The bug is then reviewed and, if valid, assigned to a developer to fix. The developer can either accept it, reject it, or defer it based on its nature. Once accepted, the bug is fixed and the status is updated to fixed. The tester then retests the bug. If the bug still exists, it is reopened; if not, it is marked as verified. The bug is eventually closed if it is no longer detected in the system or is deferred if it will be addressed in the future. The bug cycle plays an essential role in maintaining the quality of software. It allows for tracking and management of bugs, ensuring they are addressed in a timely and efficient manner. 9. What is the difference between severity and priority in bug reporting? Severity refers to the impact and implications of a bug on the functionality of a software. It's a measure of how much a particular bug can affect a system or software. High-severity bugs cause significant disruption to the system and can lead to system crashes or data loss. On the other hand, priority is an indicator of the order in which bugs should be fixed by the developers. High-priority bugs are usually those that directly affect the user's experience and need to be addressed immediately. In simple terms, severity is about the impact of the bug, while priority is about the urgency of fixing it. 10. Explain the concept of test coverage. Test coverage is a metric used in software testing to measure the extent to which the software has been tested. It helps to identify the parts of an application that are not tested and ensures every part of the application is tested, including all the paths, conditions, and so on. High test coverage indicates a low chance of undetected bugs. It's calculated as a percentage, with higher percentages indicating more thorough testing. Test coverage aids in creating additional test cases to increase coverage. This is helpful to both developers and testers in ensuring the quality of the software product. 11. What is exploratory testing, and how does it differ from scripted testing? Exploratory testing is a nonlinear approach where testers are involved in minimum planning and maximum test execution. The testing occurs simultaneously with the test design process. It's a type of testing where the tester actively controls the design of the test cases during its execution. It contrasts with scripted testing in terms of planning and execution. Scripted testing, on the other hand, is a formal method of software testing that involves detailed test planning where the tests are designed and reviewed in advance before execution. It is a more systematic, pre-planned approach where the tester follows a set of already written test cases. In terms of flexibility, exploratory testing is more adaptable due to its dynamic nature. It allows testers to apply their skills and experience in more creative and spontaneous ways. Scripted testing is less flexible as it adheres strictly to the predetermined test plan. 12. Describe the difference between black box, white box, and gray box testing. Black box testing is a strategy where testers do not have access to the internal structure, design, or implementation of the software being tested. The focus is entirely on the input and output. White box testing, on the other hand, is a detailed investigation where testers have access to the internal workings of the software. The tester knows how the software works and can test individual parts to ensure their correct function. Gray box testing is a combination of both. Testers have partial knowledge of the internal structure, which helps to design test scenarios and test cases. 13. What is a traceability matrix, and why is it important? A traceability matrix is a document that correlates any two baseline documents that require a many-to-many relationship to check the completeness of the relationship. It is used to track all requirements and changes in the project, making it easier to keep track of the developments. In terms of software testing, it provides a clear pathway that marks the progress from the beginning, connecting the dots between requirements, test cases, defects, and changes. This process ensures that all requirements are met and nothing is overlooked, making it a critical tool in the project management and software development process. 14. Explain the difference between load testing and stress testing. Load testing and stress testing are both types of performance testing used to evaluate the behavior of a system under different loads. However, they serve different purposes. Load testing is designed to simulate normal and peak load conditions for a system to validate its behavior under expected use. This can help identify any bottlenecks or performance issues that may prevent the system from functioning properly under normal conditions. 15. What is usability testing, and why is it important? Usability testing refers to assessing a product or system for its user-friendliness. It's about ensuring that end users can use the system or product effectively, efficiently, and satisfactorily. Usability testing is important because it provides critical insights into how real users interact with your system, software, or website. It allows designers and developers to understand the problems and difficulties a user may face in the real-world scenarios. By identifying these problems, they can make necessary changes and improvements to make the product more user-friendly and efficient. This results in better user experience, higher customer satisfaction, and ultimately, the success of the product in the market. 16. Describe the process of creating a test plan. A test plan is a strategic document that outlines the testing approach and the testing activities. It is essential in ensuring that the team are on the same page regarding the testing process. The creation of a test plan involves several steps. Firstly, you need to understand the project objectives and the software you are testing. This involves reading the software documentation and speaking to the developers and stakeholders to gain a thorough understanding. Next, you need to define the scope of the testing. This includes identifying what parts of the software will be tested and what parts will not. 17. What is the difference between alpha and beta testing? Alpha testing is a form of acceptance testing that is performed by a team of internal developers and testers. It is conducted in a lab environment and often uses white box techniques to ensure the software meets the specified requirements and that all functionalities are working correctly. This type of testing is typically done before the software is released to external testers. On the other hand, beta testing is conducted by a select group of end users. It is performed in a real-world environment and uses black box testing techniques. The main goal of beta testing is to find bugs that were not discovered during alpha testing, and to gain insight into how the software performs under actual usage conditions. It helps in validating the software's usability, reliability, functionality, and compatibility. 18. Explain the concept of boundary value analysis and equivalence partitioning. The concept of boundary value analysis, BVA, and equivalence partitioning, EP, are essential techniques in software testing. BVA is a test design technique that focuses on the values at the boundaries of input domains. This method is based on the principle that errors are often located at the boundaries rather than in the center of the input domain. On the other hand, EP is another test design technique that divides the input data of a software unit into partitions of equivalent data from which test cases can be derived. In principle, the test cases derived to cover the maximum possible scenarios. It is an attempt to get maximum coverage with a minimal number of test cases. 19. What is smoke testing, and when is it performed? Smoke testing is a software testing process that determines whether the deployed software build is stable or not. This type of testing is done at the initial stage of software build deployment. It aims to check the critical functionalities of the program to ensure they are working fine. This is not an in-depth testing but checks for major errors in the application. For instance, if a login page is a critical functionality, smoke testing will ensure that a user can access the login page and can log into the application. It is performed before any detailed functional or regression tests are executed on the software build. The term smoke testing is originated from hardware testing, where the device would be turned on to see if smoke arises as an indicator of severe problems. 20. Describe the difference between static and dynamic testing. Static testing is a method where the software or application is examined without being executed. It involves checking the code, requirement documents, and design documents, mainly focusing on finding errors in the initial stages of the development cycle. Static testing methods include reviews, walkthroughs, and inspections. On the other hand, dynamic testing involves the execution of the software or application. It checks the system's behavior and is carried out while the system is running. Test cases are executed in a controlled environment, and the output is compared with the expected output. Dynamic testing includes functional testing as well as non-functional testing. In simple terms, static testing refers to the process of checking a software application without actually running it. It's more of a preventive testing. Techniques used in static testing include reviewing the software's code, requirements documents, and design documents. This type of testing aims at identifying issues in the early stages of the development cycle. 21. What is API testing, and what tools have you used for it? API testing is a type of software testing that involves the direct interaction with the software's application programming interface, API, to evaluate its functionality, performance, and reliability. This kind of testing doesn't involve the software's user interface, instead it focuses on the software's business logic layer. In my experience, I've used various tools for API testing. For instance, Postman is a tool that I frequently use due to its user-friendly interface and robust features. It allows for the sending of different types of HTTP requests, supports automated testing, and even offers features for monitoring. Another tool I've used is Rest Assured, a Java-based platform that's especially good for testing REST services. It simplifies the process of testing and validating complex responses, making it a valuable tool for any test suite. 22. Explain the concept of test automation and its benefits. Test automation refers to the use of specialized software to control the execution of tests and the comparison of actual outcomes with predicted outcomes. This process can automate some repetitive but necessary tasks in a formalized testing process, or even perform additional testing that would be difficult to carry out manually. The benefits of test automation are numerous. It increases the efficiency and effectiveness of testing, reduces the time and effort required for testing, and allows for consistent and repeatable test cases. Test automation also enables the execution of tests that would be time-consuming or practically impossible to perform manually. This leads to a significant improvement in the reliability and robustness of the software product being tested. 23. What is the difference between retesting and regression testing? Retesting refers to validating a software bug that was once failed but the developers have since rectified it. It's essentially checking the faulty part of the software to ensure the issue is fixed. On the other hand, regression testing is about confirming that recent changes to the software have not adversely impacted existing features. It involves rerunning previously passed tests on the updated software to ensure that old codes are still working as expected. The main difference between the two lies in their purpose. Retesting ensures bug fixes are effective, while regression testing checks for new bugs after changes in the software. 24. Describe the Agile testing process and its principles. Agile testing is a software testing practice that follows the principles of Agile software development. It is an iterative method where requirements evolve through collaboration between the customer and self-organizing teams. The key principles of Agile testing are: continuous testing. Testing is performed continuously throughout the development process, which helps in immediate rectification of errors. Whole team approach. Everyone in the team is involved in quality assurance and testing. Customer satisfaction. The ultimate goal is to ensure that the customer is satisfied through continuous delivery of valuable software. Quick feedback. Agile testing provides quick feedback on an ongoing basis, which helps in better communication and faster decision-making. Test-driven development. This approach encourages developers to write tests before they write the code. Agile testing process follows a different approach compared to traditional methods. Firstly, requirements are defined by the customer at the beginning of every iteration. Then, developers and testers work together to deliver a potentially shippable product by the end of each iteration. 25. What strategies would you use to test a complex system with limited time and resources? Managing testing for a complex system with limited time and resources requires effective strategies. First, risk-based testing is essential. This involves identifying the areas of the application that carry the highest risk and prioritizing them for testing. It allows us to focus on parts of the system that could have the most impact if they fail. Next, using automated testing tools can reduce the time it takes to execute repetitive test cases and free up resources for other tasks. It is efficient and cost-effective, especially for regression testing. Another effective strategy is exploratory testing. Instead of following a script, testers explore the application, which can uncover unexpected bugs. Finally, involving the development team in testing can be beneficial. Developers can perform unit testing to ensure their code is error-free before it reaches the testing team, saving time and resources. These strategies, when implemented correctly, can help manage testing of a complex system within constraints. In this comprehensive guide, we have explored the top 25 QA testing interview questions and answers. We hope that this information has been helpful to you and that it will aid in your preparations for your upcoming interview. Remember, the key to any successful interview is to be well prepared and confident in your abilities. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such informative content. Best of luck with your interview.